Hi everybody, so the goal of this video is to create an Oracle Autonomous DB with GitHub, okay, and mainly GitHub Actions. So in order to do that, you can clone the repository QuizDB on GitHub. And if you look at this project, you can see three main directories. The migration directory. In this directory, you have SQL files in order to create tables, views, PL SQL functions of the schema in Oracle DB. In the SQL directory, you have the SQL file to create the user. The user is QuizFlyway for this application. And you have an ATP directory where you can find all the TF files, so the terraform files, that will create an autonomous database. And so at the end, the main important file for this video is this YAML file. This is the workflow as code that GitHub will use in order to create or destroy the autonomous database. If we have a look to this file, we can see that, okay, when an event occurs, and maybe an issue event, then something will happen and this workflow will run. So if the developer creates an issue with the title create ATP, this workflow will run and an autonomous DB will be created. If the developer creates an issue in GitHub with a title destroy ATP, so this workflow will run and will destroy the autonomous database. If we look at this file, it's a very, very simple file because we use GitHub Action. GitHub Action are a kind of powerful component to do something. For example, we have this first GitHub Action, okay, that allow you to install Terraform. Okay, so just two lines, and I have, okay, Terraform ready. Then after that, I check the Terraform version, I format the Terraform files, I init Terraforms. It means during the init, I give a URL to store the results of the creation of the ATP in the cloud, because I want that the results are available in all the world, everywhere. Okay. Terraform validate in order to validate the files. Then at the end, I store in a JSON file all the variables that are needed by Terraform. And as you see, I just use another GitHub action that I found on internet. Very, very simple. Terraform plan, okay. If the issue has a title like create ATP, okay, I do a Terraform plan. After that, I create the Oracle database with a Terraform apply. After that, I need to create the schema. Okay, so I have an OCI CLI setup. Why? This is OCI command line interface. I will use OCI command line interface in order to get the URL of the ATP that was created. And then here in this step, I get the ATP URL. After that, I use a GitHub action of Oracle in order to set up the JDK, because the next product, Oracle SQL CL, okay, needs the JDK. And Oracle SQL CL will run my file called create schema in order to create the schema flyway in the Oracle database, because the schema is needed for my application. Okay. At the end, I can destroy the ATP if I use another GitHub issue with the title destroy ATP. Okay, so very, very simple. If we looked at here, there, we can see the GitHub action for Oracle SQL CL that I use in my workflow. We can see the GitHub action run OCI CLI command that I use in my workflow. And we can see the result. Okay, when a developer create an issue like create a TP or destroy a TP, you have a workflow that will run. And if we look at this workflow for create a TP, then you see all the steps that happens. Okay. And at the end, I have an autonomous DB that was running. The autonomous DB is called their CN Auto HTTP. It's running. Okay, so just an issue in GitHub, and at the end, I have an autonomous DB with a good schema. So I can use there my Flyway project, okay, and I can create all the tables using Flyway, okay. So it's a very, very wonderful way of working because, as you see, as a developer, I am able with just an issue to create or to destroy an RTP from GitHub. Okay. So it's so powerful, so simple. Okay. Thank you for your attention.